Welcome to Game Informer's coverage of Sony's E3 2018 PlayStation Live press conference. Boy, that's a mouthful.
That's a lot.
I'm Matt Miller. I'm joined by Dan Tack.
Hey.
How you doing?
Oh, it's been an exciting E3 so far.
Exciting. Lots of announcements, lots of cool trailers and gameplay demos, but we're not through it yet.
We
got
not
one of the
even close.
biggies here.
This is, tradition. I think the last few years, it's been the bigger one, right?
Sony is often, I think they go last to kind of be like a big finale. They choose that spot very carefully. We're also joined by Leo Vader in the booth.
Gang,
how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Well, of course. Thank you for having us. I'm not sure which one of us needs to thank the other, but we're all happy to be here. We're going to be talking about all things Sony. We thought we'd hop on a little bit before the show got started and discuss briefly what we're kind of expecting. There's all sorts of stuff that could be showing up in the next hour plus time frame. There's usually some surprises, but
what's interesting about this year is they actually gave a prelude and said, we are showing these games.
Right.
You're going to see extensive demos or information about Death Stranding, Spider-Man,
yes,
Last of Us Part 2,
good,
and Ghosts of
Tsushima. I don't know. I wish
I'm going to get destroyed.
I think it's Tsushima.
Right. So we're going to get big looks at all those.
Yes. And that's awesome because all those games are things I really want to know more about.
Especially Death Stranding, right?
Yeah. Well, Death Stranding. I think one of our E3 bingos markers this year is some weird cryptic thing from Death Stranding. I think that's virtually guaranteed.
I think certainly. It's going to be Kojima up there showing us babies.
Being Kojima,
right? Yeah.
Showing us space babies in oil floating inside of brains, and it's going to be great.
I think we might actually see gameplay this year.
I would hope.
The timeline syncs up for me.
Yes, I would hope to see gameplay because after all the teases for that game, I think there's a lot of folks. Well, I'll speak for myself. I don't know what's going on with that game.
Does anybody?
No, I don't think so. Maybe somebody has figured it out and is keeping it to themselves. But I want to see what the gameplay is. What kind of a game is it? What are you doing on a moment-to-moment basis? That would be my wish for that game this year.
So that's the stuff we know we're going to see.
Right.
How about the stuff we don't know that we're going to see? That's always the more exciting stuff, right? Just for the pure nature that we could get a surprise.
Sure.
So, we didn't see Final Fantasy VII Remake on Square's thing. And we may not see it here.
We might not, but that's a good call, Dan, because that has previously been, inextricably tied together with Sony. It would make sense for us to get a little bit more chance to see what's going on with that game. Maybe a little bit of a sense of how the game is changing compared to the original.
It's been in some lots of turmoil and development changes over there for that game since it was revealed at PlayStation's conference, if I'm not...
I think it was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, way back when.
Yeah.
Not so.
So I think it would make sense for it to return for a big. Maybe they close with that. If it's there, I think they close with that.
That'd be great.
How about, we're probably not going to see Bloodborne 2, sadly, since we know Miyazaki's on the other game. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
But it's unlikely. But what if?
Okay.
I'd say more in the realm of reality is maybe, in light of Dark Souls Remastered, maybe it's time for Demon Souls Remastered. Maybe.
Maybe so. My one thing about that would be that it would actually be the same argument you made for it would be the argument against it, right? Like Dark Souls Remastered just came out. And so putting a focus again on Demon Souls might feel a little bit weird. I actually, if I was laying odds on one of those two things, I might think that we'd see an announcement of Bloodborne 2, but maybe not really anything about it.
Sure,
like to say that we are going to work on this, right?
I don't know.
But
obviously I want it really bad.
I know you do. I do too. That's that we're not always totally eye to eye on those From Software games, but I think we share a love of Bloodborne for very different reasons, right?
Sure.
You come at that game as being somebody who loves the all the Dark Souls and Demon Souls stuff, and for me, Bloodborne really hit the mark with a great theme and cool changes to the formula that made it a little bit more accessible to folks that might not have totally picked up on Dark Souls stuff. So another game in that franchise would be really great.
Yeah. I hope we see it.
I hope we hear about it.
Right.
I don't think we'll see it per se. Like, I don't think we're going to see it in action or anything.
So I'm guessing we'll probably see Monster Hunter stuff. Probably just some new content. Possibly a PC release date. I'd say they got to get that PC release date out there.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later, because we're coming up on that original timeline of autumn 2018.
And I don't think it would be out of step to expect maybe an expansion for that content.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It'll be a big content pack.
Okay.
Not sure exactly. I mean, this is all guesses, obviously. Right. How about Horizon 2? What do you think of that?
Oh gosh,
Little
that
soon?
would be
Little
great. No,
soon?
you know what? I don't think so. I think that Guerrilla is a prolific studio, and they move fast, they iterate quickly, and they have their fiction and their tech down. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn is kind of an immaculate game technically and artistically. If they gave me a new game that was pretty much, well, very similar, not identical, but very similar to what they did with their first game, but took me to a new part of that world, and let me continue the adventures of that great character, I think I would be on board. And I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see that on the stage tonight. I hope so.
I think that's more of a long shot in my book, but
I think so
too.
It. But it's not completely out of the realm of possibility.
How about Shenmue? Are we gonna see Shenmue gameplay tonight? I think that's a possibility. Also released at the PS stage, same year as
You're
Final
right
Fantasy
about
VII.
that. Okay, here's the thing about that game. It's the awesomeness of that beat was tied so much to just its existence. The idea that they could announce it on that stage.
Announcing the Kickstarter on the stage.
Yes,
pretty
exactly.
Powerful stuff.
I think that there were so many crazy announcements that year that were like fanboy dreams
that year
come
was
true
insane
from Sony.
Yeah.
And I don't know that putting it on stage again to show off what, Shenmue is ultimately a kind of a quiet, strange little game. I don't know how it would play to actually see like a gameplay demo or something like that. But
that's fair.
Who knows?
Oh,
here we go. We got lots of stuff coming. We're excited.
Quick heads up, we will be doing some commentary throughout, but not over cool stuff.
Not too much. And we'll talk afterwards.
That's right.
I guess we're not actually started.
Something strange is happening though. That's for sure.
This is interesting. Maybe we'll see dreams after all. I was keeping that out of the roster, but this makes it
does
more
strike
likely.
me as being very, very dreams-like. Well, while we continue to watch whatever this is,
something.
What else we got? What else are we thinking we might see?
We didn't see that. I heard there was a lot of chatter about prior was Splinter Cell. We didn't see that at Ubisoft, so that might be here.
That came up when we were discussing things at the Ubisoft press conference, whether that might be a holdover that they kept out of Ubisoft to make the big reveal at the larger show at Sony. Not an impossibility, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, as tradition dictates, I think we'll see something Call of Duty, but I don't think they're ready to show what everyone's looking forward to, what everyone wants details on, which is the Blackout experience, the Battle Royale. So maybe they'll show, I don't know, zombies?
How many?
I can't make, or maybe if it's just a multiplayer, it'll be a small sizzle reel, like a 30-second thing in between rounds.
As an aside, how many times in the next couple of hours are we going to hear those two words together, Battle and Royale, said next to each other? What do you think?
Honestly, I think it's been a lot less than people thought it would be.
That's fair. There was a presumption that it was going to be literally every other game, and that hasn't been the case.
I think a lot of the games that are adding it and have it got out in front of E3.
Sure.
Sort of avoid being thrust into the, oh god, another Battle Royale basket. I don't know, once.
Yeah.
I'm going to be pretty moderate about it.
All right. Well, I guess I'll do the Price is Right thing and say anything over that.
You might. I think pretty smart.
I think if we get fewer than 2 battle royale games on this stage tonight, I would be really surprised.
I'm gonna say 1, unless you count the Call of Duty sizzle reel for the multiplayer when we already know it. Okay, hang on. Two new battle royale announcements.
Okay,
right?
now we're just getting it confused. My point being, there's going to be some battle royale. I'm pretty confident, but we'll wait and see. What else do you have down there in your notes?
Here's a curveball.
Okay,
that we might see. Oh, nope.
No curveballs.
That's it. We're going.
I hope it's the same thing again. Just these weird creatures.
Sean Layden.
Oh, this is weird. They're all in like standing room, it looks like. Oh no, there's some seats. Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. And thank you for making the time tonight to come to church. This fulfills your obligation for the coming Sunday, for those of you who need to know that. But thank you for coming out. It's great to see the congregation as large as it is tonight under this single tent. And for those of you who may be a bit apprehensive because you remember that movie Kingsman, it doesn't end that way. It doesn't end that way. So, but no, again, thank you. And as you can see from this evening, here again at PlayStation, we've decided to mix it up a little bit in the way that we're doing our E3 presentation this year. You know, we look at what the stories have we tell and the things that we want to impart to our fans here with us and their fans on the live feed worldwide. And that changes our design ideas around what we can do for this show. So tonight, we're going to have, rather than a bombardment of new creative, we're going to take all of you on a journey deeper into some of the key titles we've talked about before, but we're going to talk about them in a different way tonight, a deeper way, so you can learn about what's going on with these games and what's coming up in the future. You know, what we look at here at Worldwide Studios with inside Sony Interactive Entertainment, we really want to take our love for gaming and make it sing very loudly. It's a gaming industry, it's sometimes called, but certainly inside our studios, we see gaming as a vocation. It's a calling. It's what we do. It's what we have to do. Our teams of creatives and studios and designers, they have stories to tell and things they want to show you and places they'd like to take you. That's what we're trying to do here at PlayStation. This coming year is going to be all about those kind of games that we can deliver to you in a way that's going to blow your minds. And tonight, we're beginning here in this tent, this church tent we've created here in Los Angeles to let you start that journey with us and let us tell you our stories for the next hour or so. So without further ado, it is my great honor and my unique privilege to invite to the stage and introduce to you Gustavo Santaolalla.
Is it me or is this a completely bizarre setup?
This is really bizarre so far, including the sound just seems a little weird, right?
Definitely.
Profoundly moved by this experience.
It's strange. as a way to open the show.
Don't get me wrong, I think that guy's a badass, but that is a really strange use of stage time.
It is.
Went out one night to make a little round. I met little Sadie and I shot her down. Went back home, jumped into bed. 44 pistol under my head. I woke up in the morning about 9:30. Hacks in the buggy standing on the right. Jets and gamers standing around. Taking little Sadie to bed. I began to think we do that time. I grabbed my head and I moved. Made up the angels, all to say, it took me
I hate these things.
Tell me about it.
Your old man really laid into me today.
What happened?
Another big lecture about my patrols. Don't go here, don't go there. It's funny how involved he gets whenever you're scheduled to go out.
Yeah.
She's putting on quite the show.
I give you guys 2 weeks until we're back together.
Not gonna happen. She, say something to you?
Make it 1 week. Ellie! Hey! What took you so long? Well, I'm here, aren't I?
Tina?
Jesse.
Hey, don't forget we leave at first light, so get some rest.
Yes, sir.
You're such a dick. Come on. Why don't you start with me? Okay, I have a very serious question for you. How bad do I smell? Like a hot pile of garbage?
Oh, okay.
Oh, how about that? Gross. You love it. Every guy in this room is staring at you right now. Maybe they're staring at you. Or not. Maybe they're jealous of you. I'm just a girl, not a threat. Oh, Ellie. I think they should be terrified.
They are nested with sin. What is free? Oh, shit! No! No! Spread out.
She went into the grass. Watch yourself. Ethan.
What?
Wolf. She came through here. Damn it. Double back. Go.
I have eyes!
leave it to Naughty Dog to do some awesome storytelling for their demos.
That was unbelievably hardcore.
The audience does not know what to make of that.
I'm in. Wow. Like, that looked awesome.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
That was a new look at The Last of Us Part 2. We're here live in Los Angeles at the PlayStation E3 Showcase. We're taking a quick intermission while folks move along to the next part of the experience. We'll have a little bit more to share on that later. And I am joined by my good friend, Ryan Clements.
Hello, Mr. Schumann.
How are you?
I'm good. It's such a pleasure to be here at the PlayStation Showcase. And it's going to be a huge night for Worldwide Studios a little later when the showcase resumes. And what better guest to have for joining us about Worldwide Studios than the chairman of Worldwide Studios, Mr. Sean Layden. Hello, sir.
Yeah, good to be here.
I thought you were just on stage. How did you get up here so fast?
We created this pneumatic tube that I was dropped into and shot right across to the studio here.
Right over here. Well, it's good to have you here.
Well, it's great to be here. And I think that was a very powerful start for our E3 program for this year.
That's right. There's much more to come, but I do want to zero in on The Last of Us Part 2 here just for a moment. You know, as chairman of Worldwide Studios, you work very closely with Naughty Dog. These guys need no introduction.
Indeed.
And I'm curious, from your perspective, where is their head at when it comes to developing this game?
Where's their head at? I mean, they are everywhere. They're looking at what can do in the next iteration of the Last of Us series, and I think what we saw tonight, I mean, that piece of content was so impactful. I mean, the whole relationship between Ellie and Dina going into the combat sequence really shows that they're pulling out all the stops over at Naughty Dog, and they're going to have a very broad and ranging game that's not going to make you only work at it as a player, but you're going to have to just think as a person what you're coming up against.
And I can't wait to see more of that. And that was first gameplay we saw there of The Last of Us Part 2, looking obviously incredible. And speaking of incredible, I mean, Worldwide Studios lately, I mean, it's just been unbelievable. Horizon, you had God of War, which needs no introduction, and Detroit Become Human. I mean, what is the secret, and what are you doing over there at Worldwide Studios? What's going on there?
The rule number one is do no harm, right? Right. In a lot of ways, my job is just to move the boulders out of the road to make sure that creative talent can get where they need to go. You know, provide backup, provide scope. You know, provide generalized, advice about where we can take this as an industry and as a gaming culture. But honestly, we've got 13 studios worldwide. We try to give them as much creative control as possible and just help support them through to their vision. That's kind of what we've been trying to do here for the last dozen years or so with Worldwide Studios. And I think right now, certainly in the PS4 era, you're seeing a lot of that coming into play right now.
That's great to hear that. And I mean, speaking about making fans happy, I mean, I think there's a question that I've been getting a whole lot, and it has to do with God of War. You know, it's a celebrated game. It's sold extremely well. It has a huge legion of fans. And one of the things I wanted to mention was, I get a lot of tweets about New Game Plus. You know, is this something that you and Santa Monica Studio are evaluating for God of War?
You know, it's crazy.
Not
with
to
the
interrupt
advent of social media, we get a lot of real-time feedback from the fans.
Just
and
for
the
people who
community,
don't always watch
press
conferences from E3, this is really strange.
We can talk about it here or not talk about it at all.
They're basically taking a break to change sets, presumably, and move their audience to a new location.
Because, I mean, what we can infer from that first one is each location will tie into the game shown.
Yes.
Much like the church there.
And then in between, for the online audience, us, and everybody else watching this, they're going to offer us these weird sort of commentating sections where they're going to talk about other stuff that is not announcements, but just like looking back on the last year, which is a very odd choice. It's an especially odd choice because Sony has been praised so frequently in recent years
doing just games,
for just focusing on games and keeping the focus where it needs to be, not having weird frills attached. This seems like a really odd choice for me.
It's a bizarre departure, especially after how poorly the Couch Act went over at PSX.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to make of it. Now, that said, Last of Us Part 2, as we said, looked amazing. And it's hard to complain about what Naughty Dog is doing there at first glance.
That gameplay was worth the price of admission completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Extremely excited to play that game at this point.
I mean, Last of Us for a lot of people is among the favorite games of all time. It certainly is for me, and it's exciting to see what they're going to be doing next. But this weird in-between content, quite frankly, feels like it was really falling flat for me.
Let's give it another chance.
Sure.
If it continues along that line, we're going to talk again. So we're not trying to interrupt everybody, but this is sort of like filler content right now. We're just.
It does feel strange.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to it, Leo.
Come here and sit with us and walk with us as we get through to see the background stories and deep inside of the games we're working on.
Wonderful. And we do have a lot more coming from those Worldwide Studios games in the showcase later tonight. Do you have any personal games that you're most excited about?
Well, they're all fabulous, and I think the teams are really crushing it right across the board.
Fair enough.
But one thing I would say is there's one of the games that we're having out today that will be playable in 3 months. And available in stores, and that's our favorite web slinger.
Of course.
Spider-Man. So we're going to see a lot of that tonight, and I think the folks at home should be happy with what they're going to get.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean.
Sean, thank you so much for dropping by. Always a pleasure to trade notes with the chairman of Worldwide Studios.
It's great to see you guys. I'll head back to the pneumatic tube station then.
All right, please do.
All right.
And
wear the helmet.
We do have a lot more in store coming up in just a few minutes as the E3 showcase continues. But in the meantime, we also have some other updates for you while we wait during this short intermission. So I say we kick it off with a look at the latest from the world of Call of Duty.
Let's see if I was right.
Get immediate access to Back in Black maps in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 only when you pre-order Call of Duty Black Ops 4 from PlayStation Store.
Welcome back. We are having the PlayStation E3 showcase kicking off in just a few more minutes. We're in a short intermission period here, but we've got some good stuff to talk about. And we've got some good friends as well.
Yeah.
Meredith Molinari and Ramon Russell. Welcome.
What's happening?
That's
good
right.
to have you guys back.
It's good to be back.
Friendly faces right before the showcase.
Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent.
So I say we keep this moving here. And when it comes to Call of Duty, we know that a bunch of remastered maps from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 are making their way to Call of Duty Black Ops 4 this October on launch day. But what we just learned here is that those maps, those classic maps, are coming to Black Ops 3 as well for those who pre-order Black Ops 4 on PlayStation Store.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. But what if I don't own Call of Duty Black Ops 3?
Well, that's where it gets a little more interesting, my friend.
Oh.
So tonight, we are actually doing a surprise PlayStation Plus game drop, and that is going to be Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is coming to PlayStation Plus later tonight.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, very nice. This is why I love E3, because not only do we get to share awesome news with our audience, but PlayStation Plus subscribers get a little treat.
Get a little extra
little tasty treat.
Right, little mid E3 supply drop for you there.
There you go. That was perfect.
You know, we've been sharing a lot of good news. We got to share 5 really cool announcements last week when we did our countdown, kind of ramping up for tonight's big showcase.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We had the countdown to E3, and that was 5 game reveals and updates over a span of 5 days. A lot of great stuff announced. Let's take a quick look back at the highlights.
This continues to be really
This
odd.
is uncharacteristic for this
Yes.
for this presentation.
It really is.
I know people in the comments are going to call me a jerk, but this is really strange, and not in a good way.
Oh, they're not having fun either.
Good. I mean, I'm not alone here.
Not that Tetris Effect
Yeah,
isn't
this
a cool
was all
game.
really cool stuff,
it's just,
but we saw it.
It was last week.
We were all really excited to see Tetris Effect a week ago when it was announced.
And Days Gone, we all watched that exclusive gameplay on GameInformer.com.
GameInformer.com has the scoop on that game. Let me tell you.
No.
What is this? I have to figure out what happened. Okay, wake up, focus, remember.
From the creators of Fee and Flipping Death.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
That's the spirit. Comes a heartfelt story in VR.
But really, who are you?
Beat Saber is really fun.
I know,
but
I know
it's strange. It's strange.
We
that
know
this
about Beat
early in the
Saber.
press conference, we're getting all these weird.
We've heard about Beat Saber.
indie
We've played
VR
Beat
games.
Saber.
I know. Wow.
Welcome
All right.
back. We're just a few minutes away from the E3 PlayStation Showcase. I mean, when I say a few minutes, I mean we're really. So let's keep moving here. There was a lot of great stuff here. Oh, and we can see the crowd is seated. The people are about ready to go.
logistics of this
The
thing
show's about to continue.
nightmare,
about to
right?
I
move
know.
into the big event.
Get all
Yeah,
those
it was
people
great to see
moved
the
and all the
countdown
stuff they're
but I do
carrying
think
around
that
and
there's, like,
cameras
maybe
and
one
stuff
more
like
thing
that.
we can sneak in there before
That's
we
real
cut
tough.
away to the showcase.
Yeah. Yeah, let's squeeze it in. Let's squeeze it in. Okay, so this next franchise boasts a huge loyal community of nearly 6 billion hours. Incredible stat.
Yeah, they play that so much.
A lot.
They do.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a first look at the next chapter right now.
A lonesome star in a bitter sky. I hear the hungry ghosts calling out in the night. Just a couple victims of this brutal prize. Am I strong enough to let things just die? Just to keep a spark alive. But if there's nothing on the other side, why can't I leave well enough alone and go to the light?
Well, that is a not
That
insignificant
was a
story
powerful new
reveal
look
for
at
Destiny 2
Forsaken is coming out September 4th on PS4. A lot of
Wow.
great enhancements and content for that
One
one.
of their main
And,
characters they're
Yeah,
taking
it looks,
out.
It looks really good.
It was
There's a lot of
annoying
buzz
anyway.
about that Gambit mode coming up, and guess what? If you're at E3, you can play it at our booth.
I like
Not
it.
too bad.
But
Not too bad.
there's barely any
It's gonna
time
come
because we're
back,
about to
right?
get to the show.
That's right.
They're
We
carrying
are
the
really
corpse on the
seconds away
picture
when
we
it comes
showed.
down to it from the rest of
That'll be all right.
PlayStation's E3 showcase. Thank you so much for watching. We've got a lot more in store tonight. But for now,
I think it's almost time.
I think it's almost time. Should
Yeah,
we get to it?
I think why keep people
I
waiting? Let's
think
get to it.
so.
We have so much more to cover.
I think
Okay.
we should get
Got
to
a
it.
lot more in store. So let's
What,
check
does
it out.
chat think we should get to
live
it,
right
Leo?
now.
Yes.
We're not even
Just
trying to
a
be.
few more
we're,
minutes,
We're not
guys.
hecklers or anything.
No.
We really liked what we saw.
Safe bet we're going to see some Ghosts of Tsushima now.
I think that's the safe bet here.
Masters.
Nobu, come!
I love this just sort of partially stylized kind of art direction they've got going on here. It's really cool.
Very pretty.
Where are they? Bastards! Enough! Was next samurai. Arshoneg, Artsan Gesh Podos Batium! Niet Urquai Minich! Samurai! Los geht's!
Jin, you're late.
You're impatient. Where's the monk?
The bastards beat me to him. Now they're torturing him at the temple.
Come on.
You think the monk's a hero?
We need him, Masako. Down.
We could take them.
No. Remember Sago Bridge? We strike quietly. They kill the monk.
I'll guard the exits. Just get that monk.
En amaralla husis manje. Nima ulos. Tehniki pitna okito. Bakolan. Suni orokto sushi mag. Aeda staff aflopan. Please, I do not understand. Uldathwi. Chamagotun hami. Ulfmi che javensakt. Tu overlapp nå. Til medvarende.
This is like the Japanese Assassin's
Called
Creed game I've
reinforcements.
always wanted to play.
You have to move.
It is. It kind of
See
looks
the
awesome.
resemblance.
Masako!
Stand aside, Jin. You betrayed my family.
Run! If we fight, the Mongols win.
They already won.
You are my friend.
Give me the mark.
No. Hear them coming? That's our enemy.
Here's another game I want to play.
Yeah. It was interesting.
These guys can't help.
The secret reveal.
The oldest house is a shifting place. There are rules and rituals. You can keep traveling deeper.
So there's our first look at Remedy's new project.
So that was a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Surprises are good.
Surprises are good.
Hello? Anybody there? Something's not right. Hey, relax. Everything okay? Can't be here. I'm putting you under arrest. Stay back, sir! I've got this! Officer, you need help? What are you doing? Get off! No! Get off of me!
A little Resident Evil action going on.
Money's in my account. Always a pleasure.
Attention, all citizens. Due to the citywide outbreak.
And don't make my mistake. If you see one of those things, uniform or not, you do not hesitate.
Whatever it takes to save this city.
Surprised you made it this far.
Need info on my extraction. Survival's your responsibility.
God damn it.
Will you help me?
Of course. It's an impressive display of strength. But we never meant for this to happen.
It's coming. It's coming back!
Called that one before the show. Very pleased to see that.
Is this our first R-rated E3 press conference, Dan?
This has been it's been brutal the whole way through.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a lot of blood.
A lot of blood.
From Squanch Games and the co-creator of Rick and Morty.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Bathtub Guy, and we're here at E3 to take some looks at this new game I'm going to show you right now. Trover Saves the Universe. Let's give it a look. Oh, whoa, there's some action platforming stuff in this little piece of shit. I'm the Bathtub Guy. I'm always in my bathtub,
Amen.
but, it's not about me right now. It's about this game. Whoa, look at that. That's exciting footage I just saw. Oh, I'm playing it right now. Look at me. I'm a cool cucumber over here playing this cool game. Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Somebody call 711 because that's the emergency dial number for this in this weird part of the galaxy. Because this is a sci-fi based thing. Help! He's got electrocuted.
Well, you can certainly tell that's from the same guy who does Rick and Morty, can't you?
Pretty much right out of Rick and Morty.
Like drawn out of one of the Rick and Morty episodes almost.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
I believe this is the. I feel like we've seen a lot of Kingdom Hearts so far this evening.
We have. This might be new.
Still, it's a real shame we don't have a bigger ship. You back in the organization?
Yes. Surprising, isn't it?
Jack, don't you give this creep the time of day.
Sora, stand down. It's the code. Mustn't strike a pirate.
You laughing at that sound alike, Leo?
Said
It's
pirate
good.
offers to confabulate.
I am looking for a box.
Get down!
Sora!
They have come for us.
Wait!
Oh no!
Stop!
Farewell. Arendelle is safer with me staying up here.
Oh,
Please, go away.
And the unversed collected enough screams and sadness from those children.
Yeah, and the whole time they were trashing our company in the process!
You're following her.
Maybe she's one of the 7 pure lights we need. The new 7 hearts.
Now, set your heart free.
And at the end, you'll finally realize what destiny has in store for you. In fact, your reward might be right around the corner.
Hey, Axel.
Oh. Hey, liking the look. Cut your hair, too.
I was just laughing at Jack Sparrow
There's a
saying
release date,
Sora.
finally. Unless that came out yesterday, I just didn't notice it. But I'll tell you one thing, I cannot follow the story of that game at all.
I mean, I used to play the core Kingdom Hearts games.
I did too, and
the
I enjoyed
ones
them.
that had numbers on them, right?
I enjoyed them.
But I haven't played everything
Now we
else.
have 1.5 and 1.8.
I know.
What the hell is that?
I don't know what that means. It's wild how many weird mini offshoot things that franchise has had. Well, time for a little Death Stranding.
Sam Porter preaches. The man who delivers. Tears. Chiral allergy. So, you have dooms like me. What's your level?
I've got the extinction factor, but I think you got me beat.
You can see them, right?
No, but I can sense them.
Wanna come work for me? Must be tough out here on your own.
I can't help you with that. I make deliveries. That's all.
A silent, faulty feeling. A silent, faulty
headed into town. Watch yourself. Those things never stay gone for long. The timefall fast forwards whatever it touches, but it can't wash everything away. The past just won't let go. I'll see you around. Sam Porter Bridges.
Sam, what's your status? Beryllium density is still increasing.
My status is fucked. There's tons of them.
Can you sit out the rain?
No, they're closing in on my position. I have to move before they realize I'm in here.
Sam, if one of those things eats you, it'll trigger a void out. You'll come back, sure, but the surrounding area will still be a crater.
I got an idea.
As expected, I feel like I have more questions.
Time fall away.
You're too late. You still don't know who I am, do you?
Who are you?
Well, I think we can say we saw gameplay.
We did see gameplay. Now, what that is,
and what we just saw happen, I'm just as confused as I was before.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
I know you're stoked about that. You love that game, right?
E3 has been redeemed. That's amazing. Definitely need a sequel. And a nice surprise, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Yeah, we didn't know that was coming.
We didn't.
The raft is secure. secure, but I can't reach them over radio. Their comms must be down. What's your status?
Already here.
Yuri? I thought you said it was secure.
It was. Let's go. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks.
Love the optimism. But in my experience, when it looks bad, it's usually worse. Look out! Yuri!
I'm slipping!
Gotcha. Hold on! You okay?
Yeah.
Welcome to the party! Just in time for the fireworks!
Looks like we made parole, boys!
Electro? Why is he letting everyone out?
I'll head for the main control center and see how bad the situation is.
Got it. I'll go join the party. Everyone just quietly go back into your cells and lock the door behind you. Okay? Please?
Fighter! Get him down here!
Like fish in a barrel.
Catastrophic event detected.
That doesn't sound good. Oh, hi, Rhino!
Hope you like surprise, Spider!
Surprise? What is he talking about?
Hey, what's your status?
Me? Just trapped in a prison with every criminal I've put away in the last 8 years. No biggie.
Electro must be working for someone.
This is too good to be true.
Scorpion, can you hold on a minute? I was in the middle of a phone call and it was business.
Charge him! Don't let up!
Lost you for a second there. You okay?
Not really. Electro, Rhino, and now Scorpion are all on the loose. What's going on in the rest of the prison?
Camera system's almost done. I'll give you a sit rep soon.
Okay, I'll keep tracking Electro.
Come on, Spider-Man! I thought this was a chase!
Gotta stop this guy.
Man, props to their animation team. It's just wild.
If you tell me who you're working for, I'll go easy on you.
Can't stop it! But I'm flattered that you still try.
Nobody ever takes me up on that offer.
Gotcha! Vulture! What?
Long time no see! We're going to have so much fun!
Sorry, no time to talk.
Insane for a gameplay segment.
Okay, I got the security cameras back online.
How's it look?
Well, it looks like the entire population of the raft has escaped. That makes 5 of your worst enemies that are now on the loose.
For a second there, I thought you were serious.
I am serious. I have to go. Some of them are heading into the city.
This is nuts.
Keep chasing! Party's almost over!
How do you like my new suit? Dashing. Where'd you get it? It's an exclusive club.
Remember, he said not to kill him.
Good idea. In fact, we don't have to do this at all if you don't want to.
We definitely want to.
Ellie. I think they should be terrified of you.
You do not hesitate.
That was the PlayStation E3 showcase. A lot to take in. There was a ton of great worldwide studios titles.
All right.
We got a little more to share here.
So
right up, we're going to have first live gameplay of Marvel's Spider-Man right here. Just a couple of minutes. We have a new game to announce.
All
We
right.
have some other stuff to talk
But
about.
they're
too.
saying that was pretty much
show?
it. That's the showcase. They're going to show some more stuff in post game
Post,
here.
yeah.
But
That's the big stuff.
But
We'll bring the Spider-Man gameplay up when it comes on.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good. But let's take a few minutes to talk here. So
you want to just go through the list here?
well, let's just start off with, right off the bat and say there's a weird separation here between some remarkable game demos that were on stage/screen tonight
Absolutely.
from Sony, juxtaposed against the most oddly paced press conference I can recall in more than a decade of following E3 press conferences.
Yeah, but you know, it was only the start. You notice that? They only had that one transition, and then I think they just sort of, they really flowed after that.
I thought that the transition was certainly the weirdest, but even after that, it felt like the pacing was odd. Like, noticed at the end, people didn't even really understand that it was over. It didn't, like, it kind of felt like, well, maybe, I guess they're showing a sizzle reel now.
Yes, yeah.
And then to have like major like little third-party pieces that they're slipping in, like the Call of Duty thing and the Destiny thing, just kind of well, we don't have any better place to put this, so we're going to kind of slip this in this intermission space,
sandwiched in between the big four. Lined up, yeah.
And then we'll have these couple of strange, beautiful but strange music interludes.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. Like, I felt like a real jerk that those segments were like lengthy and they weren't what I was looking for, and they were a really cool experience to have.
Yep.
But not in this context for me.
It felt it felt like out of step with what people would maybe be looking for out of a press conference like this. I'm sure the intent was to have there be this sort of like down pace, quiet, thoughtful thing that preceded both Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima
to immerse you in the experience.
Yes, and I get that, but at least from the perspective that we were perceiving it. It'll be interesting to talk with people who are actually in the theater.
Sure.
But from my perspective, it felt like it was just like, well, this is kind of out of left field a little bit.
Yeah. Although in that respect, I guess, not entirely too off base from stuff they've done in previous years. Like they've had like the orchestral and stuff like that. To sort of
true enough, but the orchestra stuff that they did for God of War felt grand and powerful. Here they were going for something much sort of smaller and quiet.
What is this? What is this?
Let's see what this is.
Yeah, what is this?
I don't know.
Aren't you excited?
Oh, no way.
You're going to be a fairy. And live in the world where time stands still. Where nobody can see what you're up to ever again.
What?
Okay, Cine, that's From Software's new title coming to PlayStation VR. Quite a departure, very artistic. Still don't know a ton about how it actually plays yet, but certainly a compelling debut, I would say. And speaking of compelling, let's get to that Spider-Man. It is time.
You see what I'm talking about with pacing? This is weird, man.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're bumping along here at it being astonished, but just the way this thing has been put together just feels so weird to me.
Okay.
Why would that be? Like we said,
we're VR, right?
Yeah, but why not integrate a new From Software thing into? Hey, we've got a new PSVR title from some of one of your favorite studios. Instead, it's weird. It's in this weird kind of post-show space.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it, man.
All right. Anyway, there's a new From Software game.
So
don't worry about it. That's the show.
Don't worry about it. I don't want to dwell too much on the negative here because certainly, at least for me, I felt like everything about the pacing for the whole show felt very strange. But by and large, the demos that they showed were really cool. Perhaps the most M-rated demos
brutal.
I've ever seen from a Sony press conference.
I think we read the pacing and sure, that was weird. But the stuff we did get to see, very impressive. I mean, just, start on the brutality. Man, that Last of Us, that was grisly as hell. I mean,
it was indeed.
And I'm talking like, I'm used to very mature content, and that was still sort of, grimacing, and that's some gritty, brutal shit.
It is. It is. Well, let's kind of watch a little bit of the Spider-Man thing, and we'll talk some more. I know a lot of folks are stoked about Spider-Man's combat and gameplay, and this is a chance to get a closer look at it. And so we'll watch this for just a little bit here, and then get back to some discussion.
Yeah, Leo, tell us when.
Sure.
So, obviously it's a big narrative-driven experience, but at the same time, part of that superhero fantasy, especially that Spider-Man experience, is living within New York City and seeing that. So, Adam is one of he's one of our combat pro players because he's a combat designer, and again, he's just showing off some really awesome stuff that as you get better with the game, obviously, we wanted to have a pick up and play feel, but at the same time have a level of mastery and to really show off the improvisation that we've really been talking about a lot since.
That's my dear friend Brian Intihar. We can probably go ahead and keep wrapping up the conference over.
All right.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah. This video will probably be available separately. So.
I would think so too. So yeah, there were a lot of things that were some pretty gruesome stuff going on in The Last of Us. We're seeing intestines coming out of people's hanging bodies, and it's also especially brutal when you have a character that you've established a backstory around and fiction around with Ellie, who's really just getting the crap kicked out of her and getting shot.
I don't know. She looked like she was kicking the crap out of everybody else to me.
She was doing that indeed. But that game looks awesome.
Graphically, I was just the whole thing. Super can't wait to play that game. Wow, I think it may have been the most impressive offering for me from this showing.
I mean, Naughty Dog always hits it out of the park in one way or another with their demos at E3, and this one impressed both in terms of this really brutal, mature gameplay that gave us a chance to see Ellie in action, but also some really powerful sort of narrative stuff about a sort of what looks like a sort of budding relationship for that character, and taking the step of sort of exploring her romance, right, and that part of her life, and so that was really cool. I thought Ghost of Tsushima looked really neat as well. The thing that surprised me the most about it was the art style.
I love the art style. I definitely love the scenery. I'm a little iffy on the combat from what we saw.
Okay,
that looked a little bit less, polished than this. The scenery definitely did it for me.
Yeah,
you notice we've got a lot of Feudal Japan coming up in our.
There is. I mean, there's that whole dedicated section once they moved from their church tent on into the Japanese flute section of their presentation.
That's right.
That followed through with a lot of Japanese titles or stuff from Japanese developers. We got to see Ghost of Tsushima, which, like you said, I also want to play the combat before I make a judgment about it. But at the very least, having these combat sequences that play out in that kind of classic Japanese falling leaves sort of style was really neat to see.
You can't have too much of that.
No. We got Resident Evil 2 remake.
Resident Evil 2 remake, yeah. And that's one of my favorite, that was the game that started me on survival horror. So, I mean...
So you're down.
I'm definitely down for that one. That's one of my favorites.
We got some insanity from Justin Roiland, the Rick and Morty guy.
He basically got Rick and Morty...
Yeah, I mean,
the platformer.
It was straight up, for Rick and Morty fans out there, I mean, it was pretty much like one of those interdimensional commercials that they have in the episodes, except here we had a bathtub guy just sort of riffing.
You could have put that sequence into Rick and Morty on the TV and it would have made complete sense.
Yes.
Nobody would have batted an eye.
So that's Trover? Trover Saves the Universe?
Trover Saves the Universe, yeah. Don't forget Control.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was...
Weird looking game, but slightly intriguing.
We saw some more Kingdom Hearts 3, a little bit of
Johnny
Pirates
Depp,
of the Caribbean.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, my favorite.
So that was interesting.
We learned that someone was the seventh of the lights, and it was really cool.
Here's the thing.
Fans are going to kill me for this, but that story, if they know the story, I would be surprised, okay?
I think there are people who do know the story. Here's the dilemma.
There's like 3 of them. Two of them are left alive.
Is that the fans who played the original Kingdom Hearts, the what you might call the core games back in the day, those people are a lot older now.
They are.
Like a lot older. They're not just a few years.
One of them.
I know, right? Me too. And I have there's people on staff that we have who have followed through with all the other portable games and things like that. And I think if you have, it's maybe easier to get excited about some of those story beats. For someone like, well, just speaking for myself, who I don't have anything against Kingdom Hearts. I remember having a very fond time with those games, but I do not know what the hell is going on when they deal with that story stuff.
I can still have fun with that game probably without knowing what's going on.
I hope so.
Just playing with the characters
with the crazy
fun
Disney
enough,
characters.
Right.
Well, we'll see how it shakes out, but we got to see a little bit more of that. Hey,
there's a game.
Hey, Dan, what about Death Stranding?
So you can't breathe, or the spirits come out after you.
You can't breathe. Sometimes you got to plug
Sometimes you
into your baby tube.
The baby
so
tube.
that you can make a thing pop out of your backpack that flashes. I mean, you've had to do that so many times, I'm sure.
You know what? When I wake up tomorrow, it might make sense.
Yeah.
There's pieces to this puzzle, and eventually we're going to know what's going on.
Maybe.
I mean, we got to see gameplay.
We did.
So you're a porter. You're walking around. You're delivering. You're a delivery boy.
You're
a
delivering
pizza delivery
stuff.
guy.
Yes,
in the
and you're
apocalypse.
dropping stuff in the river.
Yes.
You got some like levitating platforms that you haul around behind you because otherwise it would be too heavy.
Yes.
You're walking across a barren landscape. Sometimes you're climbing some mountains.
We're looking at some kind of cross-dimensional
weirdness,
bizarreness, as we kind of already knew. But
yes. I mean,
so eventually we'll know what's going on in that game.
Eventually we will, but today is not that day.
No.
But I was happy to actually see it in quote-unquote action, if you want to call it that.
Because we didn't really get to... We saw game footage. I don't know if we saw a lot of sequences of what the... No.
I mean, here tonight, it looked like we were seeing him walk across. Like, that looked like gameplay to me.
That was gameplay. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. I'm saying we didn't get to see any, like, action sequences.
No, and
right?
maybe it isn't an action game.
And that's very possible.
Like, maybe it's a weird contemplation of
maybe you just
silent hiking. I don't
decide
know.
when you turn the baby on and when you turn the baby off. It's a big just gameplay decision.
Maybe that's the way
Otherwise,
that it
you get
works.
eaten by the goo in the ground.
Yeah,
and
you
then
gotta watch
some-
out for the goo.
And there's a lady and the whales.
the guys floating in midair, and there's the
what.
woman and the other woman. You know who that other woman is, right? I don't.
And we didn't see any Mads Mikkelsen though. I was really disappointed.
No.
I was hoping he would show up too. We got to get the whole crew in there.
Leo, explain it to us. You got it all figured out, right?
Death Stranding?
Yes.
It's pretty straightforward.
I thought it was.
Yeah. It's basically like a delivery guy. And
That's
you
what we got
gotta
to
go
do.
and-
You know what we need?
Delivering pizza.
Yeah.
We need Death Stranding.
Wouldn't that be great if it was straight up a pizza delivery game? At the end of the day,
God.
you just had to bring people pizzas.
Yeah, Kojima comes out and says, no, there's no hidden meaning here. It's just a pizza delivery
We
game.
need a crossover. The Kingdom Hearts saga with Death Stranding. Then no one will ever be able to figure it out.
That'd be really good. All right, well, I don't know what else to say about Death Stranding other than it's intriguing, right?
Certainly, you know, despite the weirdness, I am certainly all in on figuring out what the hell's going on. Very interesting. Very curious about that one.
Hey, I think you're probably pretty excited about what Koei Tecmo brought out.
Just a really brief tease.
Yep.
But I'm super glad Neo's getting a sequel. It absolutely deserves it. And I was super stoked in the first game. They changed little things up. It was already a really great game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're going to refine the sequel. And I'm super excited about that. But we know nothing else about it.
One of the other games that showed up, as I said, in weird pacing in a weird section of their presentation, really, was this chance to see what's going on with the storytelling in Destiny 2 Forsaken, which they recently announced. And we had I think, a kind of a surprising, especially given the recent tone of that game, a surprising take through that trailer and what appears to be their most popular character's demise. Maybe
Well, he's the most popular to some. To others, he's an annoying bucket of bolts.
I think whether you like him or not, he's a really central character.
I'll give you that. He's a critical character, and I thought they were supposed to be unkillable. I know they kill his ghost there. That's
yeah. I mean,
thing.
without delving into the lore, this is the first time we've seen a main character guardian go down. Right? I mean, there's talk in the fiction, and those things happen off screen sometimes. In certain strikes that you hear about, like guardians died in this situation or that. But this is kind of taking one of the main characters in the game and saying, like, yeah, I mean, his ghost gets taken out, and if your ghost is gone, you don't get to come back. And in there we also saw a character we haven't seen within the fiction for a long time, which was Aldrin. Last time we saw him was in Taken King.
Okay.
So he was around when the queen, his sister, was fighting fighting Oryx and the Taken when they first showed up.
All right.
And he was out there in a ship, and he looked like he got blown up. But people who've been following along know that he didn't really die there. So clearly, not only did he not die, but now he's here to
he's exacting revenge on his enemies.
I guess so. Well, we'll see what comes of that.
Okay.
What else did we see? We saw What about that Call of Duty stuff? You're more of a Call of Duty guy than I am. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's all right. All the we want to know. Everyone wants to know about Blackout. I said it before it. And it's also true now.
Yeah,
that's the big question mark for the upcoming game.
Okay,
we're all expecting zombies to be pretty good.
Yeah,
follow suit, and the multiplayer is solid as it always has been, right? So the big question mark is, can they pull off that massive battle royale experience? And notice we didn't have any other battle royales.
That's right. We didn't talk about battle royales, so that's impressive. That's right. I mean, there were fewer games here.
Sure.
In grand total, I mean. Let's talk for a second in comparison with, I mean, a lot of people will be in the coming days comparing this to what Microsoft did.
Sure. And Microsoft was the third-party stage. Absolutely.
Yeah, and moreover, Microsoft had a lot more games that they were showing off. I don't know that any one of the games that Microsoft showed off had the same impact that many of these games did.
I mean,
like Last of Us
2,
or Spider-Man, or Ghost of Tsushima, or I mean,
they really did pull out. They said they were going to show these 4 games.
Yep,
they showed those 4 games. They showed a lot of those 4 games,
and not a lot of other stuff. We had these small sort of trailers and teases of a few other things, but they did not go hog wild with like a billion games the way that we've sometimes seen Sony do. They chose a few titles and kind of put their best foot forward, and that was it. And then they were done. Are you excited about Spider-Man? I mean, I'm a big
absolutely.
like Marvel guy. I love comic books. That's like right up my alley.
One of the series that I read religiously as a child was Spider-Man.
So you're cool with that.
So I know all those old villains that now seem rather cardboard cutout villains. Like, hey, he's the Vulture and he's the Scorpion.
Sure,
he's
man.
the right.
I mean,
that's
we were
cool.
talking about superhero comics here.
Yeah, we are. And what I've seen in that game looks incredible. Like across the board. So I'm down for that one for sure.
I mean, the combat looks awesome for a superhero game. The animation work, just every time I see it in action, it just looks remarkable. Leo, you've seen a lot more of it than we have.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The animations when you're playing it feel completely perfect.
I bet.
All right.
And that one's real close. That one's coming just in a few months. So that's pretty cool.
That's a big deal.
And
we had one more.
Yeah.
Which I have I have no idea about what the hell it even is. The Dursina?
Yeah, which was like kind of not even part of the press conference.
It's the end cap to it.
I don't know what that was. They said it was a PSVR title.
They did.
So that's kind of a departure. It certainly did not look like what From Software normally does.
It does. Right? No, it's completely... I nearly crapped my pants. I was like, did they really save the Bloodborne thing for
until after the show?
Are they gonna do that? And it's just like,
wasn't that.
And then it's just like, you're a fairy.
Yeah.
You're in a house. And here's a flower.
Right.
And it glows, and then it's over.
Yes. Strange stuff.
God, I have lots of faith in From, but that is the weirdest thing I could possibly see them making.
Well, Sony E3 2018.
There it is.
A strange presentation, but one with several really great demos in it. I feel ambivalent a little bit. I don't feel mediocre about it. Like, I'm not right in the middle. I feel like there were a couple real big highs, and there were some really weird lows about that press conference.
It wasn't a repeat of, one of the big years. It was solid. I think we'll remember it as, but we'll see in the coming days.
We will. I think, there's more to understand about Sony that will be revealed through what folks see on the show floor.
Yeah.
It's
the show hasn't even started yet.
The show has not started yet. We haven't gone and done the gameplay demos in Los Angeles that our staff's going to be doing in the coming days. We're going to have lots of previews on that stuff. So I think it'd be a mistake to draw too many conclusions about either Microsoft, Sony, or any of the other publishers that have content this year without getting that full picture. The press conferences really are like the first half of the equation.
Yep.
And what we learn in the next few days is the other half. So I'm certainly going to be interested to see what our folks there in Los Angeles learn. And hopefully by the end of it, we'll know what that baby in Death Stranding is doing.
From Software VR game Flower That boggles my mind more than the baby in Death Stranding. I'm gonna be.
That's your choice for weirdest thing. My weirdest thing is plugging into baby. So on that subject. We almost forgot to talk about the weird interludes of dreams.
We didn't forget.
We didn't. I don't know what to make of it. It's.
I think that's the last time we see dreams.
No, I mean, look, it's right here, man.
Right.
Here's dreams. I thought it was a strange press conference from Sony.
Maybe it's one of those you had to be there kind of things.
Maybe so. But with that, we'll close out our evening of coverage. As I said just a few minutes ago, tomorrow, very soon, the show floor opens. There's a lot of gameplay demos that are going to be there. There's stuff that has not been announced. I can virtually guarantee that.
And also, don't forget to join us tomorrow for the Nintendo.
That's right.
That's right. 11 a.m. Central.
There it is.
And we're gonna be covering that as it happens, right, Leo?
That's right. And before even that,
yes,
our West Coast people. We have a lot of people on the West Coast right now for E3. They're going live in about an hour.
Yes.
So stay tuned right here. They're going to be talking about their favorite moments from the press conferences so far.
All right. I'll be there for that.
Very cool. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned into GameInformer.com as we continue to explore all the content that's going to be shown at this week's big show. Good night.